So I'm hoping this thing is working cause it's lagging like hell. And anyway, that's probably the worst intro you've ever seen ever, and that is sung by Mello, who doesn't know anything about the song, and well, you know what, forget him. Also, the Express ticket part, I was doodling halfway during the holiday since I was bored as hell, and I didn't manage to finish it because I got bored of MS Paint. Yes, I'm doing that on MS Paint, admire me. And I thought I needed a new Express ticket picture, so I thought, you know what, that's not finished, but screw it, I'm just gonna stick it in there, you know, Express ticket, ha ha ha. And anyway, this match is against Zycor. I have not given a review of his team yet, but basically I see his Cottony and I see his Scyther. His Scyther will not be Eviolite because that will just be stupid and retarded. And his Cottony, which might evolve into a Nitore, but I am not really that sure. I had to be told by him that it evolves into Whimsicott, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I kind of predicted him to lead with this Acelgor, which is why I led with my Sharpedo, because I can Aqua Jet him. So hopefully his final Gambit wouldn't be killing anything instantly, but now that I've actually led with my Sharpedo, I'm thinking, hang the fuck on, what if he decides to Bug Buzz? So I'm gonna go out to my Nageki X, which is my competitive version of my Nageki, which I used in game. I love that thing a lot. No homo or pedophilish or anything. So I am going to circle throw him out of here because I do not want him setting up more layers of spikes, even though I do have a rapid spinner, but you know, I just hate entry hazards and such, so I just don't feel like letting him set up more of those, even though he'll get like 2 layers for free, since he does excuse me, since he does resist my circle throw. But I do crit his Cottony, which I don't know if it's Eviolite or not. It more than likely is, but I don't know if crits go through Eviolite, so I honestly have no idea whatsoever. And I circle throw him out to the best thing ever, which is his Rotom, which obviously resists my step super power, and he is going to Will-O-Wisp me, which I really do not want. But then I realized, hey wait, I have guards, why do I not want that third phase? So as you can see, I was contemplating switching there for a long time for absolutely nothing, and he's gonna GTFO out of here because he doesn't like me, because no one likes me. I'm such a lonely child. So he sends out this Mandibuzz, which I somehow really didn't pay any attention to whatsoever in the team preview, and then go for the payback like a total tart that I am. Honestly, after that battle with Shark Tamer, I just felt like my serious juices just went down in the drain, and they don't really seem to be coming back. So I am gonna go for the Toxic here, hoping that he doesn't substitute out, because that's what all Mandibuzzes do. Thankfully though, or rather, well, whatever, it's still thankfully, though it still does a hell lot of damage. He doesn't go for the sub, and I do get to pull the Toxic off, which means this thing isn't too much of a threat right now. I can just store this out with my whatever, my Downforce. I have no idea what to call it, and here I smack my webcam because that's how being rusty does to you when you record live. I haven't narrated anything in a month, nor have I had any battle whatsoever, and I lost my train of thought. Anyway, outcomes my I'm just gonna call it that because I have no idea how to pronounce its real name. And according to Zycor, this is Yu, and I checked and I was like, holy shit, it really is Yu, derp face palm. So I do have to roost, and his strongest move isn't gonna do anything to me whatsoever, so he's gonna switch as I go for the Hypnosis. And a sleeping Acelgor, I mean, I have to say that just looks so freaking badass. No one has looked more badass sleeping, although I really wouldn't want to see a lot of people sleeping because I'd feel weird about myself and such. So I'm gonna go for the Air Slash because why not, and seeing that it's enough to 2KO, I'm just gonna KO him instead of going for the Whirlwind, because that's kind of what my Sigley is supposed to do, because Hypnosis and Whirlwind in 5th gen, I just like that idea a lot. So he thankfully doesn't get a one-turn wake and Bug Buzz me, but even then I don't think it'll do a lot. And I do manage to kill it off because your eyes obviously can't see what's going on the screen. And to be honest, I'm kind of pissed with my webcam right now, but I mean, the left side of the screen looks so fuzzy and the right side of the screen looks so sharp for no real reason whatsoever. and my DS screen isn't really helping, since when I battle in noon, when the sun is streaming through the window, my manly chest becomes very visible. Therefore, I can admit it, I'm getting pissed with my own quality. So out comes this most creative Pokemon ever, and he's gonna crunch me, which I sort of predicted, but he does get the defense drop, which I might qualify as Hex if he isn't life orbed, because if he was scarfed, he could just, I mean, if he wasn't scarfed, he could have just earthquake me dead. But I was kind of thinking he was scarfed because that's what most crocodiles are, and yeah, he wouldn't be able to switch his move, and his crunch will not kill me, and I can get a super power off, but that's not the case, and I'm gonna send out my
rocket launcher
for
revenge.
Hot damn, how long has it been since I used that clip? Anyway, this Crocodile Life Orb Moxie booster is really scary here, but thankfully I do run physically Blastoise, I think. Physically defensive, I mean. And he puts me right into torrent range, which will make his scald death more painful, and yeah. Maybe that would have killed without torrents, but I really do not know. And I really didn't feel like going for the Focus Blast, since I didn't know if it would be more powerful. Okay, fine, maybe it'll have been more powerful, but you know, knowing my life and the game, it'll just miss, and I'm gonna get swept by a freaking crocodile, which is, by the way, the most creative thing out of Nintendo's officers since, well, ever. So he's gonna go for the lead seat, and I'm just gonna go for the rapid spin because that's the most unpredictable thing to do ever. But for the first time in Wi-Fi history, at least in my knowledge, that someone got freed from lead seat due to rapid spin. I know that freeing yourself from lead seat is pretty much the primary side effect of lead seat, since you know the anime had that too, and that's what the move description says, but people just use it for stealth rocks because, you know, the meta game. So he's gonna taunt me, which is gonna prevent me from epically whirlwinding him out, which is just sad face, but you know, what can I do about it? I can just air slash his sub and then air slash him dead, but meanwhile, he is going to lead seat me because he's just stalling for time, despite knowing that I have Magic Guard, which is, by the way, one of the most broken abilities in the game, in my opinion. But you know what? Why does the world care about my opinion anyway? So he's gonna GTFO to that Rotom, which isn't really possessing anything because it's not an evil Rotom, and since he hasn't anything possessed, I'm thinking this S-Slash might do quite a, well, okay, it's a reasonable chunk, and that isn't a reasonable chunk, I think. So I'm thinking that he might be a smartass and predict a switch or something, or maybe just have discharge over Thunderbolt, but he does have the Thunderbolt and he's gonna kill me. Quite surprisingly, actually. Wasn't expecting that at all, but you know what, that's a dead Sigilyph, which might have came in useful later had I not been such a idiot, but you know, the game is still going and you don't know if I won or lost, so let's keep the tension rising and such, because I'm such a good narrator, which no one really cares about because I'm so underrated and the world needs to know more about me and my amazingness. But he's gonna crit my Grace Glaze, which is just typical because of all the bloody things on my team to crit. It'll just be Grace Glaze because why not? It is my signature Pokemon and whatnot. Why would the world not want to crit it? So out comes this Saito, and had I still had my Sigilyph, I might have just switched it in and it might have walled this thing quite well. Given that it is a wall, albeit a special defensive one, I'm not even sure if I pronounced that correctly, but you know, here's to saying words that you don't even know how to pronounce. Because I'm more of a reader and writer than a speaker in real life, as is evident by the fact that no one watches my videos anyway. So I'm gonna send out my Galate, which I am going to play very pro with, and I'm going to go for the Psycho card as he switches into that Mandibuzz to totally block it, because birds can block blades of psychotic power solidified and being thrown at them, because that's just the way the Pokemon world works. And I'm gonna be a very smart test here and going to go for the Focus Punch, predicting something like a Roost or a Substitute when it's so blatantly obvious that he's gonna Brave Bird me dead. Well, maybe the fact that he's gonna Brave Bird me dead isn't that obvious, seeing that I was expecting to live this Brave Bird, because it is a Mandibuzz after all. What, I mean, when does it ever kill anything with an attack? It just doesn't happen. I demand justice in my life. So anyway, all I have left is a freaking Sharpedo, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And yep, this thing is supposed to battle Shark Tamer, but then when I used it, he owned me so badly I couldn't upload it. So this is kind of his debut on YouTube, even though it's been quite a few battles. Wait, did I even use Rebellion in previous videos? I don't even remember. So if you get why I named it Rebellion, then you must play Devil May Cry, and therefore you are an epic person. Because this Sharpedo is purely physical, and it has no special moves whatsoever, because Rebellion is supposed to be a sword and such. And he sends out this Cottony, and I know he's gonna go for some kind of status move because, you know, Prankster or Mischievous Hearts, or I don't even know. But I'm just gonna go for the Aqua Jet, equaling his priority and therefore killing him, and therefore giving me a 1-0 victory, I mean loss, because he's gonna send out this Scyther, okay? And I thought I had this game won, and I'm gonna go for the Waterfall, and it doesn't even do half, and I'm thinking, what the hell, man? What is this? And then he told me this is a almost max HP Eviolite Scyther, and I'm like, okay. Oh hey, I do have my rocket launcher left, which isn't really gonna do anything since I'm out of ammo and such, and I am not fast enough to outrun this thing, which is gonna bite my rockets to death. So that's a very sad ending, Zycor. I hate you, and technically I cheated by using one UU, but you know what, you beat me anyway, so quit whining about how I use a Segele. And yup, that's a good game, and goodbye, people.